Hey everyone, so welcome back. So just going to recap, this is the final video to close out. And so I hope that you've enjoyed everything you've listened to in the last couple of videos. I hope that it's made sense. I hope you've been able to learn something from it. I'm just going to summarize everything and close off. So for the first video in this series, we spoke about the thinking coach framework, which I said you should consider before making any crucial decision. And there were three questions that I suggested you reflect on: what your athlete needs right now, think about their confidence, think about clarity of role, if they need another challenge, and really showing that you care. Showing that you care also means you understanding what they would appreciate in terms of showing that you care. So it's not just you acting blindly, but it's actually doing things with a bit of intentionality. Then thinking about asking yourself what your team actually needs in the present moment, and thinking about cohesion, accountability, a clear direction for the team, and how you can build trust between yourself and your team as a whole, within your team setting rather. And then the third and final question I said to ask yourself is, what are you thinking your long-term culture needs? Don't just make decisions and think about things for now or for one game. Also think about the long term in terms of consistency, standards, and growth. The second framework we spoke about was standard, where I said that there were 8 dimensions of elite coaching that I think that you could use to guide yourself as a coach. Standards we've spoken about before, but it's also defining what elite coaching looks like to you and holding yourself accountable to that level. So teaching, how do you ensure that you're developing people and not just systems? It's important that you have both, but it's always important to remember that great people make great systems effective. Without great people, great systems are ineffective. Accountability, taking accountability for yourself, your actions, when there's pressure. Narrative, I spoke a lot about narrative. What story are you telling about your successes and failures? Because that impacts and inspires everyone in your setup. Decision making, how do you make decisions under uncertainty? A, for adaptability, what evolves, what stays fixed. Our relationships, we know that healthy relationships are important, no more so than as an elite coach. How do you make sure that you're investing in the right relationships in the right way? Develop. Who are you? Development is the final D. And who are you becoming as a coach? And who do you want to become as a coach? And I challenge you to say that you should imagine me in your sessions for the next 7 days and in competitions with you, and think about what I would learn as your standards. What are your standards from observing you, and how you, and I ask you to share it with me. So if you haven't shared it with me, I look forward to seeing that soon. The final framework was about decision, and we spoke about 8 dimensions of elite officiating, aka decision making, because I said officiating, essentially great officiating, elite officiating is about great decision making. And I believe that great decision making is as important for officials as it is coaches. But I specifically felt like it was important to highlight coaches because there's an extraordinary standard that we expect our officials to meet that sometimes is impossible for them to meet, but it doesn't excuse them and say that it's okay for them to make bad decisions. So it was about how they can make sure they're making decisions at an elite level in the best of ways. And D was for detachment, the importance of being able to stay neutral at an emotional level. We're all human. Sometimes our emotions get the better of us. So we spoke about the importance of sometimes being able to detach ourselves emotionally to be able to make the best decision in the moment. We spoke about environment, managing pressure and noise and not allowing that to sway our decision making. Clarity, what guides our decision making. I for integrity, what lines are non-negotiable that you refuse to compromise on. And I use standards as an example of something that you should not compromise on regardless. Self-regulation, how do you reset after you make an error? How do you self-manage yourself is another way of looking at it. I for improvement, how do you review your performance when you do perform? O for ownership, how do you respond to criticism? and N for neutrality. How do you serve the game? And I ended it with an overriding question. That is, how quickly can you return to neutral after you make a mistake? You should be able to answer that question by now. If not, then I think you should reflect on it to find an answer to the question. So that's the end of this particular set of videos where episode 3, which is essentially about tools and frameworks that can help you in terms of guide your decision making in a practical sense. So I just want to take a moment to talk again about what we do and the importance of mentoring. So the coach that is mentored, the official that is coached, most coaches, elite coaches especially, rarely work alone. And there's a good reason for that, because it's hard work, it's challenging, and you cannot always see the blind spots. And those blind spots, being able to identify those blind spots and being able to learn from them and act on them can often be the difference between remaining where you are and getting to the next level at a faster rate than otherwise. Also, in terms of decision and confidence, having a thinking partner is almost like a thinking partner under pressure helps you to make the right decisions at the right time than otherwise. You would probably get there and learn from your mistakes, but sports, I say, goes hand in hand with time. If something can take you 1 year to get there, why would you want to spend 3 years because you're trying to do it all on your own? And that is if you get there, because a mentor, someone like myself that has mentored so many coaches, so many people, I've learned so much from them. It's unlikely you're able to do that, and on top of coaching. So it's about keying into each other and taking advantage of everything within your space. Leadership growth, being able to challenge you, to make you sharper, and really strategies to help manage your athletes. Being able to manage your athletes and get the most of your athletes is what will help you to create and cement your legacy as a coach. Your success depends on them. My success depends on me making sure I get the best out of those that I mentor and help them to achieve their goals. As a coach, your success is somewhat dependent on the success of your athletes. And sometimes you need a bit of help in managing those athletes. And ultimately, it's also about helping you to practice in a sustainable way. Coaching in today's world comes with a lot of pressure, and it's really easy to get burnt out. We help you to create a practice and practice in a sustainable way that ensures you get the right support you need before burnout is able to establish itself. So I'm going to leave it there and just ask you to think about who's supporting you as a coach, who's challenging your thinking and helping you to grow. And just because all those things is what makes mentorship so powerful. So if you haven't signed up to any of our programs today, I would really encourage you to sign up. And if you are, continue to stay with us as we bring out more content to help you accelerate your journey to sporting success. I'm going to leave it now. It was great, doing these videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I would welcome any feedback myself so that I can do better by you guys next time. All right, bye for now. Till next time.